Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite, thanks to RØDE microphones.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite. This week we're talking about mic placement. Everybody talks about mic placement, but they never tell you where to put the mic. Well, I should rephrase that. But anyway, yes. So, who's going to start by giving us a few hot tips on where the mic should actually be?
In front of you.
That would help.
Good start.
Yeah.
And with the capsule pointing generally toward your mouth.
Yeah.
Know if you have a large diaphragm or a small diaphragm microphone, and point your mouth to be perpendicular to the capsule.
Now, here's one for me that I've always looked at and has always been a bit of a moment for me is when I was starting out in radio and started using a 41.6, so we're talking 30-odd years ago, I was told by my boss at the time, hello, Jeff Thomas, that the 416 should point directly off to one side, but directly into your mouth. However, I see a lot of booths where people point the 416 down towards their mouth, whereas I was always taught, and the guy who I was recording at the time, a guy called Steve Britton, always spoke directly into the 416. So it'd
be nice. You get a meatier sound if you speak directly into it.
Yes.
But you're going to pop it, and then you need a pop filter.
Well, yeah, so he had foamy on, yeah.
Sometimes several of them.
Right. Yeah.
And so several of them stacked up.
Yeah.
If you really like sometimes a pop filter is good for people because it helps them know where to be. Other times it kind of like a good pop filter is not going to really make a difference in the sound. I think the foamies start to encroach on the sound more than just a pure pop filter. But generally, I think that especially with a 41.6, you can kind of point it down towards your mouth. But if you say like pow or any P word, and you put your hand right in front of your mouth, you can kind of feel the air that comes out. And you want to have the microphone just above that column of air so that you don't
out of the pop zone.
Out of the pop zone. But as close to it as possible, pointing down towards your mouth.
Now, I heard that with a 41.6 or a shotgun, a lot of people have it above their head pointing towards their chest.
Oh, really? Chest?
Yeah, I think that generally gives you I'm kind of a believer in the above pointing down toward your mouth, chin, chest region. Because when you're pointing, it's a shotgun, so it has a lot of reach. So if it's pointing at a steep enough angle, let's say it's about a 45-degree angle, and it's out about 6 inches in front of you, it's going to get the chest as well, right? And so if you're really wanting to add that low-end dimension, that authoritative low-end chest resonance to your audio, that's what's going to give it to you. You're not going to get it if the mic's, say, pointing up toward you or level but pointing to you from the side or something. You're not going to pick that up as much or at all.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting.
Think a good amount of the sound comes directly out of your mouth for the most part. There's
the majority, for sure.
Yeah.
But put your hand on your chest as you're speaking. You can feel the chest resonating. There's
not
sound...
Me.
Coming out.
Except Robert.
There is definitely sound coming out of there. I mean, there's no doubt.
But also the foamy on a shotgun, it changes the pattern of the mic, so I'm told.
A little bit too.
Yeah.
And
makes it more focused, is that right?
Blocking those grills will adjust the pattern a little bit.
Yeah.
And the longer you keep that foam windsock on your mic, the more it is blocking those slots because the things start to disintegrate. And they actually will fill in the slits on the side of your mic and actually clog them and actually make it sound progressively worse.
No bueno.
That's also bad.
It's interesting though, AP, because Steve Britton, who's the voice I was talking about at Triple M, that I sort of started, he was the sort of first voice I ever worked with a 416 on. And he sounds better with the foamy on. And Steve's your classic US promo voice, I suppose, the big ballsy you know, for radio announcer type. But I reckon he sounds better with the foamy on. I've tried him with the foamy off, and firstly, he popped all over the place. Hello, Steve. I love you. But he definitely sounds better. There's something more to the sound with the foamy on than the foamy off, which was interesting.
Without the pops, he sounded better with the foamy on.
Yeah. Steve's very sibilant anyway. So I found
foamy
that
takes a little bit of the high end.
So I found that made that more pronounced. And that was probably the most.
But how does he sound with a mask on his face? That might take care of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it sounds good.
There's probably a lot of people who'd want to shove a mask down Steve Britton's throat, but hello, Steve. I love you dearly. I really do. Let's have lunch soon. But
And it's your shout, Britton.
Yes, exactly. He was. But yeah, no, he definitely sounds better with it on. So yeah, that's interesting.
Let's try something. Just tell me where it sounds best. Okay, I'm going to give you, let's say, we'll try like 4 spots. Ready?
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The second one for me.
I have two preferences. If I was doing radio imaging, I'd want 2. But if I was just doing a cold voice radio commercial or something cold voice like an audiobook, I'd probably go for 1 because it's not quite so in your face.
Okay, so it's exactly what it is. 1 was basically I'm right on the mic, like probably an inch or 2 away from it, and the mic is just between my nose, like it's right at my upper lip. Basically pointing down towards my mouth, but it's below my mouth. It's above my mouth, so out of the pop zone.
Yeah.
The second one is just right into the mic.
Wow.
Like straight in.
Yeah,
pop screen and all.
Kicking ass, baby.
Yeah, I could hear the movement of the air from your mouth. It was like it just,
in your face, right?
Yeah,
and then this one is off to the side. Same level, but now it's just off to the side.
Yeah, it's
so
kind
another
of
version of
mid-rangey and kind of flat.
So how different is this compared to this? This
worlds apart.
or this?
the
They're worlds
second,
apart.
the second, does not sound as pleasing. Like I wouldn't want to hear that.
So the second one is to the side of the mic, but still like right level with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is pointing down, but out of the pop zone. The second one is clear in the pop zone. Third one was off to the side. Fourth one was back, probably about 6 inches away from the mic.
Now, see, I like that one too.
It gets
If you
lost a
were
little
This should
bit
be
though.
more natural.
Yeah.
This should be more natural and not so like big and bassy.
The fourth one detuned that proximity low end boost that you get a little bit out of on those mics, and it just made it sound more like a normal condenser, like a cardioid, and that just sounded natural. But
a little bit more natural.
Yeah,
right.
it's not good for everything, but it'd be really good for a commercial, I think.
Right. Yeah. So basically, the ones that everyone liked were the ones that were straight on, not to the side. And if possible, it depends on, because if I do the same one on this and I say pow, right, that's the same placement with the pop screen off. Big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the mic? Is that the NTG5?
The NTG5.
Yeah. Wow.
So here's no pop screen, right up on the mic, but pow, below the, like I'm going below the, like the mic should not get that pow, pop, right? It's not hitting it.
You're still getting a little bit of a bump from the P, but it's not like a
Is there a
burst
tiny
of
bit
air.
of distortion in the bottom end as well?
I think
Yeah,
you're
I
clipping.
can hear
You're
it.
actually on the edge of clipping.
Yeah.
I might be clipping.
Yeah, just a
yeah.
tad.
Here I can.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely
Just a
clipping.
skosh.
So how's that? So that's
better.
so this is away from the pop zone, pow, and then here's right in it, pow.
It's actually not that bad, really.
Yeah, maybe the NTG5 has got enough filtering in there. That's pretty amazing. Pow,
Yeah.
pop,
Yeah.
pop. Is it taking it? Because there's no windscreen on this thing. This is raw dog.
The P's are still ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Raw dog.
Raw dog.
Now, if I turn off my chain, and I'm also an NTG5, if I turn off my channel, now it's flat. Pop, 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 pop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
Makes a difference.
Pop, pop, pop. Now my channel's on. Pop, pop, pop. I'm more or less right down the barrel. Pop, pop, pop. Turn off my channel. Pop, 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 pop.
So you're
Yeah.
taking care of your pops a lot with a high pass filter.
I definitely am. Yeah, I have a high pass filter dialed in around
70,
88. Yeah,
pretty high up there actually.
yeah.
You know, like the right big trusted voice might not want that rolled off so high.
And not only do I have I just turned it off, so that's no high pass. And then now it's on. And then my EQ section, I also have a slope low end shelf sloping off on my
high
EQ. A low end sloping down, like a shelf down, and then on the high end, a shelf up. Because I want it to sound like a 41.6. So I'm brightening up my NGG5 to sound more 41.6 like.
Yeah.
And so I found 6 or 5 dB of a shelf starting around 2K does
that'll
that
do it.
nicely.
Yeah.
It'll do it.
So I'm on the 41.6 and about right on the mic, probably an inch away from the end of the mic, which is probably about 6 inches away from the capsule, I'm guessing. Assuming the capsule is up near the other end of the grooves.
Near the mount, yeah.
Yeah. But and without the foamy on as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
It seems like the NTG5 does well without foamies on.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between this 1, 2, 3 and this 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
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 That's foamy versus no foamy. That's all that is.
I prefer the foamy, actually.
Here, I'm going to try one where the mic is in my mouth.
The pictures or it didn't happen.
There you go.
What mic are you on, Robbo?
I'm on the
Show
103.
notes.
I'm on the TLM 103.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm about 6 inches off, but I've got one of the screens between me. So that's what I've been doing the whole time. So let me get rid of the screen.
Disc.
Get rid of the screen, and I'll get up a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ding dong.
But I'm
Yeah, you have to really control your plosives when
yeah, absolutely. And I'm off to the
That's a very
side.
open grill.
I'm at like 10 o'clock now, right? So if I turn my mouth to it and try not to pop too much by moving my mouth when I make a P, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello.
Yeah.
So that's, and then now I'll go back. We talk about the closed fist. So that's the closed fist distance with nothing between me and the mic then. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, that's
4.
the
1,
most
2,
pleasing.
3, 4. So there
You
you
ever
go.
watched Howard Stern manhandle his TLM 103?
Yeah, all the time. I think, man, what are you
isn't it?
doing?
No, it's a 103, man.
That's right, exactly.
I think it's a 103. I mean, it's
No, I
not a
think he uses a
U87.
U87.
Definitely not a U87.
No, it's too
Hold on,
short.
hold
It's
on.
too short. It's stubby
Absolutely not.
on the bottom. It's stubby on the bottom.
I've
I'm
watched
sure
him
it's
for
a 103.
years. It's a 103.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Or a 173 or one of the other smaller mic. It's not the big one, the U87. And he like has his hand around the
He
basket
just grabs it. Yeah.
and he's literally cupping it, and then he's talking across it, right? And then of course there's probably a high pass filter and a ton of processing on it, but it defies logic that he can work a mic like that. That's so sensitive with a condenser capsule. It has no pop screen, no windscreen, absolutely nothing. And he never, ever pops.
Well,
the mic.
I've often wondered whether that mic is just a prop. I've wondered whether they've got
Yeah.
like a boom mic on him or something, and
No,
that
no,
mic
that's
is just a
entirely
prop.
possible.
Yeah, because he does move around so much.
That's a good question. I'd be shocked if that was true.
I mean, that happens all the time with like the game show hosts.
because I've
Yeah.
watched this show over the years since I was in high school. And
Yeah.
like they've shown millions of shots of his studio, and there's
Yeah.
definitely no shot.
Yeah,
that
you're right.
mic
That is like a 103 or something smaller than an 87.
But there's so
You're
many
right.
times when you look at it though, and you think he should be popping his ass off because he's
Right.
so close to it and going directly into it, and there's not even a hint that it's been depopped. So
You
Right.
should just hear like his clammy hands all over it, scraping the grill the way he
Exactly.
handles
that's
it.
right, all that stuff, right? And you don't hear any of that, which makes me think there's got to be another mic there somewhere, and that's just a
Yeah.
In
prop.
fact, I've got a picture of him talking to the mic, and he's straight up talking into the side of it, parallel, not into the.
He's
diaphragm,
talking
but
next
it's
to
like,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like if it was a figure eight, you wouldn't hear him.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
all it's really
Totally.
recording is what's coming out his cheek, pretty
Right.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the talk show hosts. You know, they always have some huge microphone
desk
sitting on the
mic.
desk.
Yeah.
But it's just a prop. You know?
That's right. Well, that's what makes
Yes,
me wonder.
exactly.
I think that's probably what started me. I was been watching Howard Stern, then turned on Letterman or something probably, and I went, fuck, I wonder if that's the deal.
Yeah.
But they've got Billie Eilish on, and she's got some sort of front address microphone that they're using. What is that?
Well, in her studio, she's on a 103. I've seen a million clips of her.
No, this
Watched
is
her
this is her on Howard Stern.
Oh, doing an acoustic
and
or something?
It's a front address microphone of some sort.
but performing, not being interviewed.
No, she's being interviewed.
Well, they do both. They do the interview from the band position, don't they?
But if they're on the couch, they're wearing headsets with a little tiny Omni
Yep.
that they have grafted onto Sony headphones. They've been doing that for years and years. It defies logic that he can hold that mic, physically touch the mic, like break literally all the rules of how to use a very
That's
sensitive
right, yeah.
studio mic, and he manhandles it like a boxer holding a boxing ring.
And you
announcing
don't
mic.
hear it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny the pictures that bother to even have that thing in a shock mount. Given
Yeah.
how much he like beats it up, like what is the shock mount doing for you at all?
But he's not using a shock mount, is he?
I have a picture with it. Well, there's some with a shock mount.
Most
and
of
some
them I've
without.
seen without. Yeah. Every
Yeah,
time
but-
I've seen it recently, it's in a serious studio. I never see it with a shotgun.
This is him in his studio, and there's a few with a shock mount actually, and some without the shock mount.
Are they all the same mic? Are they all TLM 103s?
They're all TLM 103s. I've only found one picture where he was on an 87.
Here's a really bizarro. This is all from, by the way, gearspace.com, which used to be called Gear Sluts.
Yep.
How dare you?
I know. This one guy says, currently he's on Sirius XM, and while he has a Neumann U87 and a Sennheiser 416 just a couple of feet away from him, the mic he is actually using is an Audio-Technica AT2020 USB connected directly to his laptop.
Bullshit.
Where?
I'm like, what the hell?
What drugs is that?
It's completely from left
inspired
field.
from? Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at him in the studio now. That's
That sounds-
definitely a TLM 103.
Yeah. But I guarantee he's not using that mic. I'd put money on that one.
He can't
Not-
be.
not
I
a
mean,
lot of
even
money.
some of these photos, like he's basically chewing on the thing. And there's no way that would sound good.
Well, and also the other thing is listen to the consistency. And he's all over the place, moving the mic all over the
Right.
place, and then it's like sounds consistent in the show.
Yep.
I know.
I think it's a prop
almost
mic.
voodoo. Well, like you said, it makes sense to say that it's a prop mic, but I don't understand where the mic actually could possibly
Well, see,
be.
I was going to say, when I was just looking at those.
It could be just a lavalier. He's
Well, I
got,
was
like, a
thinking that, but
well-placed
then
knob.
that's got such a distinctive sound. And if you listen to him, it's not that.
It sounds big.
It hasn't got that
he's
lavalier
got a
sound,
big
no.
sound.
But having said that, whenever I've seen videos of Stern, you only get a side profile, like a semi-side profile of him.
Yeah.
He's never front on to the camera, is he?
No. Yeah, it's always like it's the same POV where it's like if you're his POV, the camera's at like 2:00,
Yep.
looking
So
kind of
he-
over his shoulder.
He could be
bit.
wearing a little mic that's, around the other side of his head, like a...
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hair to hide the mic if he wanted to.
True.
I mean, you can barely see the headphones on his head.
Is
How
that
interesting to imagine that he's not really using the mic that you see him actually using on.
But that's
camera
radio
day.
all over. That's the smoke and mirrors of radio. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, that's true. I mean, all the talk shows have a desk mic,
Yeah.
This is the TV aspect of radio.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Interesting.
I know, like
huh?
Conan would use a desk mic as a prop, but it would still be hooked up, and it would have like reverb or some funny effect on it. But he would just
Yeah.
use it for a certain effect.
yeah.
But I reckon he's got a headphone mic around the other side coming from his left, and that's what he's using,
That
and then
could
it's
be
processed.
Yeah.
it.
That's what I reckon.
Like one of those really thin ones.
Because everybody
like
else is
DPAs.
using one of those. Like everybody on the sofa wears headset. They
Yeah.
all wear a headset mic.
Well,
They
I
all
think
have a little
does
boom.
Robin? What's Robin have? Robin doesn't have a headset mic, though, does she? She's got something else.
She's,
got-
in her own booth though.
Yeah.
Robin's
I've got a
always
straight
been in an
on-
ISO
yeah, yeah.
booth.
Well, she was always the news.
Wait, hold on.
booth
I have a
sort of
straight
thing.
on picture from him.
See, I got a photo of him here with his hand
No
on the
sign of
mic.
a
She's on an
Like-
SM7B in the pictures I can find.
No, I've got a straight on photo of him here, and there's nothing. There is no headset. Although that could be taken without. To be
Yeah.
fair, it could be
A recent
recorded
one, he has an
without.
Not fair.
IEM. He has like an in-ear monitor, like a little earbud, like wire going up to his ear in one shot.
Maybe.
But everything that's Robin's got an SM7B.
Okay, there you go.
So
yeah.
Maybe
Totally different.
maybe he's come up with a new microphone. Maybe it's soon we'll hear about the Howard Stern hair mic or something like that.
Yeah. It could be like the voiceover suit.
Well, when I read these threads, a lot of people say the same thing everybody said about Don LaFontaine, which was it didn't matter what mic was in front of him because he just sounded that way. Yeah. And he has such a broadcaster's delivery that his voice is always the same volume. He completely controls it, at all times. But I don't know if
you do understand the rabbit hole you guys have just created that I'm going to go down now, trying to find out what the fuck is going on, really.
I'd say it's a phase array set of microphones based on the Bangs hair mic. Exactly.
Yeah, hair mic. It's the Wigaphone.
The Wigaphone. the Howard Stern Wigaphone.
I mean, I see a lot of questions online posing the same question. What is Howard using? And nobody knows. But the bottom line is absolutely nobody has a definitive answer. It's a kept secret for sure.
The guy that Robbo used to mention before, he used to work for, who taught him quite a few things. Tomo has done quite a lot of work for Howard Stern. So if anybody would know,
well, I should ask Tomo because, actually, Howard Stern, one of the stipulations of his contract was when he went to Sirius was that Tomo did his production. So there you go.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I know different people that have been involved. I know the station programming director I worked for back in Philly is, I think, still Howard's PD.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pig vomit.
And then, no, not pig vomit. To see if it's still the same PD. And then I've there's a comedian voice actress I know that was one of his call-ins and occasionally on the show. Sorry about the
interesting.
Sorry, is this become the world's biggest tangent we've ever been on?
We've gone down a massive rabbit hole, indeed.
I will take the blame for that one. Basically, if you watch Stern at all on any of his broadcast networks or anything on YouTube, do not do what he does with a microphone.
Yes, please.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly. Do not use that as an example of how to use mic placement.
That's right.
Okay, so mic placement in a nutshell should be a fist away from your mouth.
A fist to a hand span.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the range, right? 4 to 8 inches away.
A fist to a pinky to thumb spread out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The hang loose symbol. Yeah.
Hang loose symbol. So it's kind of like this, and then try to get the microphone pointing as straight to your mouth as possible. But if you're going to get really close to it, make it so that you're sending that air below the capsule.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go directly in.
And then if you're going to use a pop filter, play with a foamy and I call them a stocking. I don't know. What do you call the other ones?
I do have to say I agree that usually I think things sound better without the filters. The wind screens tend to sound not as bad as the foamies. The foamies, I think, definitely change the sound.
Yeah. No, that was a good experiment. I'm glad you did that to really A/B them.
Yeah.
But what I've found interesting, I mean, if you stick it on a foamy on a large diaphragm mic, it just messes up the sound.
Oh, totally.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting was when you took the foamy off the NTG5, I preferred it with the foamy on.
Oh, really?
Does anybody agree? I thought it sounded better. It sounded more controlled. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Bit tighter.
I found an old 1997 picture of him on a U87.
Yeah.
We're never going to get shot of Howard Stern.
I don't disagree that he used it at one time, for sure. But everything I've been watching after all these years, it seems to be the 103 for whatever reason.
And it's probably a sponsorship thing. He probably gets paid by Norman.
Maybe. It's certainly never showcased or in any real strong way. It's subtle if he is.
Yeah, probably use the images though for.
Yeah.
So but I agree. Avoid foamies unless it's really the only way that you can deal with your pops.
Placement is king.
It really is.
But
if you have the right read, you can get right up to the mic if you need to have that.
Yeah, like that.
That proximity effect. Yeah.
There's one other thing to tag onto this, and which is a reason why I have people work a mic closer than I would ideally like. And that is because they're in a really small enclosure or they have a very low ceiling. And
just a signal to noise ratio thing.
Yeah, it's like signal to noise, except it's signal to reflection ratio. And it's like you really need to rein it in because it just gets out of control. In these small spaces. I have people working the mic a lot closer I literally have I have Instagram video that I send to people all the time. This is the way I recommend you replace your mic in your little box because
I've had people do that. Like, okay, we've got a rough closet here. Just get right up into the mic and I'll dump the low end. I'll drop the low end and try.
We're recording.
We got a guest. Anyway, we got a guest. Put her on the
wife
show.
just walked in, frightened the freaking shit out of me.
Give her some headphones.
Walked up behind me.
Give her some headphones. Come on, she's done it now. She's dropped herself in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to have to...
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No, where are you going, Meg?
I'm just going
You can't go, Meg. You're on the show now, like it or not.
Hang on, I have to mic her up. Hang on. Give me a sec.
Is that what you're calling it?
They do have these modified Sony 7506s with a headset mic.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they use for all the guests on the sofa.
But how do they get that headset mic onto the 7506s?
No, they did their own rig. They fabricated it. There's a lot of Broadway guys, that know how to do all that stuff. It's not. They make custom mounts constantly for Broadway. So,
but some of the setups that they have for, let's not call them acoustics, but for band performances are completely elaborate. There must be a massive big studio.
In fact, more recently, they're doing them off-site.
Yeah, right.
Depending on the band. I think I saw Coldplay recently, and they were on like a full-blown stage.
Yeah, right.
Which has been easy to do because of COVID. A lot of the stages have been empty.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just
pick a stage, any
empty
stage.
Studios.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's got some incredible setups. I mean, but I suppose given what they're paying him, he pretty much says, "I want to do this," and they go, "Okay, we'll make it happen."
Yeah, his contracts are legendary.
Oh, mate, I
he
saw
literally single-handedly kept Sirius afloat. I mean,
yeah, he should have just bought them.
The contract he signed at the beginning of this year, basically, when you take out the holidays and days off that he's entitled to in his contract, it effectively works out at $1 million an episode. His latest contract. How crazy is that? A couple of hours and he's just earned himself $1 million. Fuck.
I could work with that.
See, I try to say inappropriate stuff all the time, but it just hasn't worked out for me.
You haven't got the right audience. That's right.
I think he might be having performance anxiety in front of his wife.
On the air.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm Fandango.
Yes, indeed. So
I think this is a first. I've literally never heard your voice before. This is George in Venice, California.
Hi, George. How are you?
Great.
I know. Well, I didn't. I thought of Fred as well because he is doing it from the porta booth on the other side.
the tri booth.
Oh, the tri booth.
Yeah.
Oh, be careful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
litigation. I don't think it's a surprise. It wasn't a surprise. No, I probably shat myself actually. And a mic popped out.
Someone else will get the surprise later.
Yes, that's right.
So are you just starting, are you? Just setting up?
No, we're
done.
We're talking about Howard Stern. They're trying to work out how he can manhandle a microphone and not make any noise.
Yeah.
So
I brought up the mic tech.
He puts the foamies on his hands and then hands.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, look, I just thought I'm going to handle mine, right? So this is my TLM 103. I'm going to handle it now, and that's just a simple movement of the stand.
Actually, I've got a theory. Maybe that is not his hand. Maybe it looks like a hand, but it's actually a shock mount.
It's a prop hand.
There's a prop somewhere. We're trying to find it.
Yeah, well, there's something hidden somewhere, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's for sure. Yes, indeed.
Well,
indeed.
Apparently back in June, he took a summer break from his show after signing a $500 million contract.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah, the fans were a little upset with him. He's like, you son of a, he signed a $500 million contract and then take a break for the summer.
Well,
you
how do
son
you
of a.
spend that money unless you take a break?
Well, that's true.
Exactly.
Very good point.
How do you spend that money anyway, really? Let's be honest. How the hell can you spend
give it a shot?
I could give it a go.
Yeah.
Really?
What do you reckon, Meg?
But that's only this contract. That's only the new contract.
So
that
you would buy microphones also?
No, I would not be buying microphones. I keep seeing things be arriving at the front door.
Yeah, exactly.
You know when something's going to arrive because Andrew's hanging on the first floor for an extended amount of time.
No, I'm doing it for our daughter. It's not for me, Meg.
That's right. It's for the
our
future generations. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Well, Meg's got a great voice. Meg, are you doing anything in the biz? In the show biz?
No.
Oh, okay.
Andrew won't let me.
No way.
Competition.
Says I'm hopeless.
Yeah, you bloody hope. Well, you're good at talking.
Well, you don't take
never
direction?
stop.
Is that the problem?
Not from him.
Yeah, I get plenty of direction from Meg, that's for sure.
She gives direction. She doesn't take
That's
it.
right.
Yes.
That's right. It's the reverse role.
Yeah, I'm the actor, she's the director. We call her Spielberg in the house.
Someone needs to spend the $500 million.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, someone's got to do
I
the
don't know
spending.
what I'd buy, though. Oh, I know what you would buy. I got Robert. I think I've got Robert nailed. I know where the money would go.
Hello, Mexico. Yeah.
Porsche.
Oh,
Porsche.
okay. All right.
A collection.
What about the platform that you
Oh, yeah. With George.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I was looking
Oh,
at
you'd
that.
I
definitely
should
want
make the
one of
video.
those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I reckon
Designed by a
you'd just-
9-year-old boy, by the way.
Yes, that's exactly right. But if you really had $500 million, you'd actually make the house move on a chain and leave the platform where it is.
Ooh,
That
there you
would be
go.
cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It'd be like, you remember the Thunderbirds house when the swimming pool used to
Yeah, open up.
roll away? So
Yeah.
they could fire out Thunderbird 1, I think, or whatever it was that came out there. from under the pool.
Thunderbird 3. No. Yeah, Thunderbird
1,
1.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was
Yeah,
1.
one.
Yeah,
So-
1 was
Yeah.
So
1.
basically, some ridiculous amount of money should be spent in an overly elaborate way to get into the voiceover booth.
Well, well, there you go. But I was going to say too, you've seen those houses where they've got the, the car, you put your car in it and it spins it around, like a lazy Susan that, spins your car around. You could have a house that spun around your car.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you never have to use reverse.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. See you later, guys.
Thanks, Meg.
Right.
Cheers.
All right.
Righto.
The inner workings of
Now,
the
where were
Arnold
we?
Peters household. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, we should put an ending on
I
that
think
somehow.
we should get, like, Top Gear had a challenge. They're running out of challenges. They should have the voiceover booth challenge where they have a car driving around a racetrack, getting the best time while someone announces something in a booth.
Yeah.
There you go.
That would not be completely unheard of at this point. Voiceover has become so much of the zeitgeist. Like, I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, Honda, U.S. and America, had a commercial campaign where the winner, it was basically, they do this thing where they give away stuff. They just help people. They call it random acts of whatever. And the prize on this episode was they gave an aspiring voice actor a studio.
Huh.
This was a national ad campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like, well, and Geico did the ad campaign with Don LaFontaine.
That's true. That was really early days in terms of bringing a voice actor on a
But
commercial.
it began with that stuff.
Yeah.
Zeitgeist of like voiceover being now like, it's like voiceovers become the Photoshop thing where everyone for a while was a graphic designer
Or a
there's
photographer.
Or a photographer.
Yeah,
There is a
right.
little
Or an
bit of
actor.
like there's a lot of people doing voiceover.
Yep,
So
yep.
you might need to do a voiceover while racing.
Yes.
Or maybe the studio needs to be brought to you quickly. So that would be the race.
It would be in a caravan or trailer,
Yes.
and they'd
Yeah.
Well, we would
absolutely.
each find our vehicle and have to modify it. That would be the challenge, the Top Gear challenge. Someone might use a Sprinter van, a box truck.
I think,
Andrew would
like
figure out how to do it in a Mini.
exactly. Not wearing a mini, not the skirt.
Well, mini cars are so small, it is like you're wearing a mini.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know where we've gone. We've gone up in some
It's
way.
like this one goes all over the place from like placement
luck.
to Howard Stern to
Good luck.
Top Gear.
Top Gear.
I think we've done 3 episodes all in one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe
Tell
this
you
one's
what.
like so disorganized we just chuck it on Patreon too. Like, you didn't know what to do with this. So here.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the blooper episode.
No, it's good.
No, that's fine. We'll get an episode out of that.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite recorded using Rode NTG5s and Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging. With tech support from George the Tech Whittle. Help us share the show with more people and get your hands on exclusive content by contributing to our Patreon page. See patreon.com/Pro Audio Suite. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, proaudiosuite.com.